Hello, Permakid world. This is Woodrow here, and we're getting started to do our next podcast. Everybody want to introduce themselves real quick, and let's talk about what we're going to do.
I'm James.
I'm Henry.
Tron here.
So what we want to talk about this week, guys?
A lot of things. A lot of shit happened in the video game world this past week. Microsoft announced Windows 10 for PCs this week, and they had a press conference where it's going to be centered more so around PC gaming and Xbox One gaming also.
Are they going to make it to where you can play PC games with people that have Xbox Ones? I mean, it's Microsoft. Like, why wouldn't you be able to cross-play?
That is one of the things they touched on. It is, I don't know which games are going to start being that way, but they are going to introduce cross-play between the two.
I've been tricked in the past. Whenever I see cross-platform, that just means that two games are coming out on multiple platforms. And then, if they say, cross-play, sometimes it's just like you can trade, like, character profile cards from one game to another game. You never can actually, like, when I played PlayStation, the Battle All-Stars game, I thought I was going to be able to get my PS Vita out, play as a character, while my friend played on the PlayStation 3, and we would be able to fight each other on two different consoles. That's what I've been waiting for, and this Microsoft 10 thing, I'm skeptical now. Like, I'm all jaded and cynical now. Like, so I'll see. Hopefully, I don't know why they wouldn't make it to where PC and Xbox would be able to play together. They're both Microsoft.
From what they said in the press conference, and like I said, I don't know which game is going to start with, but you will be able to play PC and Xbox One on certain games. I think Fable Legends, I think that's one of the first ones that's going to start being able to do cross-platform.
If that's the case, that's pretty cool.
And you'll be able to stream games from your Xbox One to your PC, and they're working on doing the opposite, being able to play PC games and stream it through the Xbox One.
That's pretty cool, but that would also mean that didn't you just buy a capture card?
I mean, yeah, it's fine.
You just waste a little bit of money there.
Plus, you'll be able to play Xbox One games and stream it through the Microsoft Surface tablet, and I think you'll be able to play through that as well. So it's a lot of integration going on with the whole Microsoft thing.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Has anybody played any new games lately? Kaiser, do you have that review on Fantasy Life yet?
Man, I can't. I'm not ready to review that game yet. It's so much. I could give y'all like a review in progress type thing. Check this out. The multiplayer from what I've played so far, which isn't a lot, it's pretty seamless and very open. Like, you can be on one side of the planet while the person you're playing with is literally on the other side of the planet, and y'all are like doing completely different things. Like, your partner can be over there like chopping down trees, and while you're over on the other side of the planet fighting dragons. It's and there's really not a lot of lag at all. It's very responsive. But before I even get into that, I got pretty deep into the multiplayer just now. But before I get into that, let me explain my beef with this game. It has zero story, which is weird because I'm usually big on story. I'm the first. If you ask these other dudes here, I'm the first one to be like, if the story sucks, I really don't want to play the game. But this is probably
RPG,
one of
right?
them. Yeah, this is probably one of the few games, RPG even, that's another crazy thing about it, that has the story is shit. Like, there's no point in playing it. It's just a chore. It's just something you do just to get out of the way and open up other areas. You don't fight any monsters. You just basically running from point A to point B. That being said, this game, I've had so much fun just doing like the side shits. Like, there's a job system, and each job system has certain ranks. You go from master to, not from master. You go from like beginner to expert to master to god, all these different ranks, and you have a lot of fun doing that. But it has nothing to do with the story. But it's still a lot of fun. I don't know how to explain that. I guess I need to apologize.
But with that being said, so since you have so much fun doing everything that's not story related, why even worry about the story, period? I mean, that's the way most games are going now anyway. Nobody really cares about the story. The companies don't put together a good story. It's just there so you can unlock something at the beginning of the game and then go into what you really
But
want.
the difference here with this game is they force you to have to go through the story, because you can't go to certain parts of the map until you get to the story part of the story that unlocks that part of the map. Same with Well, you know what? Call of Duty's not like that at all. You can just
you
skip
know
the
what
story.
you're describing right now?
Let's not go there.
Destiny?
I'm not, yes.
I know.
Destiny.
This is
All
upsetting.
day
That's
long.
why.
Okay.
This is why I'm conflicted. Like
Okay. I'm not gonna go into it, but everybody understands that this is the exact same thing, though, right?
That's why I'm conflicted about. That's why I haven't reviewed this yet. Because I'm just like, this story is.
The
nothing.
Permakids were recently called the Destiny Kids, so let's.
Look, I'm gonna take up for Destiny right now, all right, which is rare. I'm gonna take up for it. No, I'm not. I quit. I lied. No, I'm gonna take up for it, man. I looked at my log the other day and realized I almost had 400 hours of playing that game. So for me to say I don't like Destiny, I can't say that. It is a good game. I wish there was a lot more I can add to it, but I'm not gonna go far with that. I'll leave it there.
Fantasy life is the fun part of Destiny if you actually had fun gathering spin metal and relic iron and all of that shit. Of course, nobody had fun gathering spin metal and relic,
me and
relic
me and
iron.
Woodrow did.
Lots of fun, actually.
Y'all are lying to each
No,
other.
man,
Oh,
we
we
did.
actually
We did.
did.
We would.
Nobody I've
We'd
ever
form
seen
like a
sat
little-
down and said, I like going to go grab spin metal for 2 or 3
did.
hours.
I was killing shit
Yeah.
in farming.
We looked forward to going to the moon.
You
And
see
I'd be
him
like,
smiling
healing
over
here,
there? He is
healing here.
full of
No,
shit.
we're smiling because we have
because
fun.
we had a good system doing it too.
Yeah.
Look, don't believe the hype, all right? Don't believe these two. They're lying to y'all.
Anyway, did you guys ever play Dokapon Kingdom?
Nah.
It's one of those games like where you're leveling up your job rather than your character. And Fantasy Life to me, like it looks like that same like spirit of game where you're leveling up your career path and you're doing chores and stuff. And I, a lot of people can find fun in that. And in a handheld game, if you're in a waiting room or if you're at work and you're having a little break or something, like to just pull your game system out, chop some lumber and tend to a little farm or something. That's why so many people play, like, and I hate to compare it to this, but Farmville or those Facebook games or those certain mobile games and stuff. This
Add
just
me
is a
on
little
Candy
bit.
Crush.
This is just a little bit more in depth because it's a game made for the Nintendo 3DS. And
You know what game I like to compare Fantasy Life to? If I think about it, it's like a children's version of Skyrim. Because I will literally spend hours just sitting there
That
like
sounds
making
awesome.
daggers in Skyrim and in Fantasy Life. It's and I didn't really care that much about the story in Skyrim. I eventually finished it, but you didn't really have to do it. It was way more stuff to do.
Speaking of reviews, so developers have this cool new thing nowadays where they're choosing to not send copies out to the reviewers on time. So they still have to play the game and then they can't get the review out in time before the game comes out because they're scared of what's gonna happen of what the reviewer's gonna say.
who did this recently?
Recently, Dying Light just did that. They sent the review copies out, the download copies, maybe like a day or two ago, and the game came out today. So that doesn't give reviewers any time to actually play the game to get through it, which also means that they don't have enough time to say whether the game is bad or not, so people can go out and buy it instead of waiting for a review for it, which is kind of shitty in my book.
Remember when game reviews used to come out the weekend before the game actually released? Pepperidge
Yeah.
Farm remembers.
Damn.
Assassin's Creed Unity, Ubisoft did the same thing with Assassin's Creed Unity. A lot of people, Bungie did it with Destiny, to bring that up. A lot of people have been doing this lately, and it's really kind of fucked up. It's pretty shitty.
Seriously, who gives a fuck about zombies? Why are we still making zombie games anyway? Why is this even a thing? Why are we even discussing this?
There is a big thing for zombies still. It's not going anywhere anytime soon.
Honestly, I saw some game. It might have been Call of Duty, but there were zombies with exosuits on.
You know what that is? That is that DLC that people had to pay for to play zombies,
But
which
that's-
should have been there
That's
before.
kind of a new idea that I thought was pretty cool. Like I hadn't thought of that before. We were both getting tired. We were all getting tired of zombies. We're all tired of zombies and all that. But
So
that's a cool
zombies with
twist.
exosuits, with I'm guessing enhanced abilities, physical mutations.
They go
they're
from zombies to the infected.
undead, really strong, really fast, can jump high. Vampires?
Cool.
Exactly.
I don't know, man.
Except they don't. I guess
they're not smart. They're not suave.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're not
Like,
able
they
to.
can't say cool things to me.
yeah.
Like they're just going.
They can't take your girl.
That's true. I just thought that was kind of shitty that they're starting to do that, and it's starting to happen a lot more, and that needs to kind of stop. Give people the time to get a review out so I can know what to put my $60 down tonight.
Grim Fandango was remastered.
Yeah, Grim Fandango. That
Hey.
game is old as shit.
There's a cult following there, I'm sure.
There is, and that apparently that IGN gave it a 9.3. So
Woo.
yeah,
Out
so
of 10?
apparently it's still somewhat special to somebody. And I mean, it's only for the PS3, PS4, and PCs. But hey, man, why not put it out if you're gonna? It's at least this was a game that wasn't remastered after only being out a year.
Damn.
It's had time.
So maybe it's better now.
I mean, it looks better, but it's still like the same
9.3,
game.
9.3 is pretty good.
Yeah, it is.
Damn good.
Somebody's getting paid off.
You got a new gen or current gen, Xbox One or PS4, I'm going to say. Saints Row 4 re-elected. Classic.
If you never played that on the PS3 or the 360, I highly suggest you get that.
Wait, they remade it for the current gen?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
and it comes with all the DLC, and I think it comes with Get Out of Hell.
It does.
Yeah.
Indeed.
So that's a lot of stuff to get there. And if you haven't played it on the other systems, I really recommend you get that game. It was fun as shit.
It's out already, or it's coming out?
It already came out.
Quick side thing. Which one did y'all like better? 4 or 3? Or Saints Row?
3.
They're different games. I mean, they're the exact same game because they're the same map, same gameplay, but they're almost like different games because 3 feels like you're really taking back the city and you're getting to, you and your friends are taking over the city, whereas the 4th one, it's the Matrix. It's the best
It is.
Matrix game that
Yeah.
exists, other than Path of Neo.
I'm gonna roll with 3 just for the fact of being God is cool in 4, but after a while it does kind of get a little bit old.
Yeah, we've already got games like that with Prototype and like all the superhero games that come out.
I just know my life was not complete unless I jumped through a windshield and knocked the nigga out of his car. It's as simple as that. So
Wait a minute. When did that switch happen? Remember when Grand Theft Auto, like the first ones came out and they were like ludicrous, like they were like really weird storylines and it was real crazy and stuff, and then Saints Row was the more realistic version because I remember people telling me about Saints Row 1 and 2 and they were like, yeah, you can do like insurance fraud and blah 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 blah, and like then there was a switch, and now Grand Theft Auto is doing more serious storylines, and Saints Row is getting really way out there.
I'm gonna say probably around GTA 4, maybe Vice City, maybe before that.
I don't know. I always thought like, even with Saints Row, I just immediately was like, Saints Row is like the oddball, and GTA was. I've always thought GTA was more serious than Saints Row was.
Maybe I'm just thinking of it weirdly.
The first one was pretty realistic. The first Saints Row was pretty realistic. A little more realistic than some of the GTAs I was used to at the time.
I guess more comical, I should say. I guess it was like Saints Row has always been way more
Yeah,
funny
that's
to
what I was
play
thinking.
than watching them playing GTA 5 or GTA in general.
Lots of tragic shit happens in Saints Row for it to be such a funny game, though. Like, a lot of people died that you kind of didn't want to die.
One name, Keith David.
Hey, keeping on the topic of games, you guys have gone to South by Southwest before, haven't you?
Yeah, I've gone probably the last.
And that had
like,
nothing to
7
that
years.
didn't have any game stuff, but
No, they do every year. That's
they
the
do?
only bad part is they always do it early in the week, like Monday through Wednesday, and I'm always at work because we didn't go to the weekend. But this year, they changed it to Thursday through Sunday. So that's March the 14th, 15th, and 16th.
So
so-
we're going.
Yeah,
Cool.
I have to check my day planner.
you have
How
shit
dare
else to
you.
do.
How- You grumpy old man,
I gotta check with my legal
Walter
team.
Matthau over here.
Oh,
So what's happening out there with video games this year?
oh, I forgot to mention this part. At that Xbox, the Windows 10 meeting, they're also going to have like these glasses that you can put on and like play the games on different surfaces and shit. So like say like it showed one clip of this guy playing Minecraft. He was going to his refrigerator and he was like touching the fridge and like blowing up dynamite, and it did look kind of cool. But you know, we've been fooled with the Kinect, so I know how easily that can be wrong.
So it's kind of like those glasses that guy had in that game Heavy Rain for the PlayStation 3. Did y'all ever play that?
I don't think I ever
There's
did.
like a scene where he puts them on. He's waiting in a police office, and he sees like a holographic ball, and he's bouncing it up against the wall. But everybody else is looking at him. He's just moving his arm. So we're gonna actually have those. That's pretty cool.
Like yeah, like imagine the Google
augmented
Glass pretty
reality.
much, but I'll be able to play a game.
That's awesome.
And shout out to Phil Spencer also, because at the press conference he was wearing a Battletoads T-shirt. So
They're remaking Battletoads.
look out for Battletoads for the Xbox One. He hasn't announced it yet. He just keeps saying that
they
it's
did.
possible.
I thought they did already.
No, cause somebody asked him about it in at E3, and he was just like, he didn't want to say yes or no, but it's pretty much like Microsoft owns Rare, so it's pretty much in the bag.
I don't know how I feel about, first of all, Microsoft owning Rare, because that means they might be tempted to make another Banjo-Kazooie.
Oh, there's no tempt. That's happening.
God damn it.
That's happening.
I'll address that in just a second then. Battletoads. I love Battletoads. Undeniable classic.
I don't know.
Undeniable masterpiece.
Fuck that.
Had to be like the fourth hardest game I've ever played in my fucking life.
Just one level.
And that level was enough for it to make it the fourth hardest game I played in my life.
That's
and I
true.
played Battletoads.
Battletoads.
I played fucking Dark Souls and
Super
Ghouls and
Ghosts.
Goblins.
Ghouls and Goblins, Ghosts and Goblins, Super Ghouls and
But
Ghosts.
look at it this way, right? Like that level of Battletoads was hard as shit, but I still had more fun failing at that one than playing Dark Souls. Ever.
Yeah,
I
that's
quit
true.
playing that game after like 45 minutes. I was like, this game's stupid.
But I don't know how many controls I broke playing Battletoads on that one stage.
That's true. Because I know people are going to be out there just like, oh man, you're talking about Dark Souls. Like, I'm sorry. Just because the game is hard, that doesn't mean it's good. It's boring.
Plus, we watched that video of teenagers playing Mega Man of all things, and they were having trouble with just the first, not even the first level, but the first like
The intro
stage of the
stage.
first level.
See, they forgot back. Well, they didn't forget. They didn't know back in the day when you played through a level and you died, you had to start all the way over again. That checkpoint wasn't happening at that time.
We didn't have memory
Back in
cards
the
or
day,
anything.
yeah, memory cards and checkpoints didn't exist.
We have to thank. I guess what would be the first? Which one would be the first ones to have checkpoints? Sonic 2, that had like no noticeable checkpoints that you actually passed through.
I don't know. That's a good question. We'll have to look that up. That's a good question.
Cause I don't remember checkpoints popping up in Mario until Super Mario World.
Yeah.
Those were official checkpoints. Now, don't get me wrong. If you died at a certain part of Mario, they actually did start you like in the middle, but it wasn't a checkpoint that you could see. It was just like, I hope I got to that part of the stage where I could respawn here. Also, respawn again some more.
Do you guys mind if I switch over to entertainment news?
No, good.
I guess none of you have been watching King of the Nerds, and that's understandable. A lot of people don't really know about that show, and a couple of people that do know about that show are kind of upset about it because they're not on it. But this season 3 seems to be pretty good. It has a pretty good cast. The show itself is kind of meh. Like it's, you know, they're competing for the title of King of the Nerds, and so far, which is funny, only females have won, which is awesome. But they're competing for that title as well as $100,000. But it's messed up because like the first episode they were doing an anime trivia thing, and the questions were like, what type of animal does Master Roshi have like as a companion at his house on an island? And then the next one was like, what does Naruto aspire to become? And like,
I would have lost my mind.
They're
Right.
competing for $100,000, and like these are people that like work for NASA and stuff, and they don't know the answers, and I'm pulling my hair out like, oh my god.
I was
No,
like,
but,
if somebody doesn't say Hokage. I'm gonna lose my
Yeah.
mind.
I mean, it's multiple choice too, and they got them right and stuff.
Okay.
There are people that work at comic book shops and things like that. It's a good show. I think everybody should give it a chance. Go to tbs.com and you can check out all the new cast profiles. You can follow them on Twitter and stuff like that. But if you're willing to go do that, you should also follow us. Not on Twitter, but on YouTube and Facebook and all that. Sorry. Still in entertainment news, the cast of Ghostbusters has been pretty much confirmed.
Yeah, he tweeted the picture of the cast today.
Leslie Jones, Kristen Wiig, Melissa McCarthy, maybe, and
I think she got it because he tweeted her.
Yeah.
It was like a collage of those 4 people that he tweeted
Kate
out.
McKinnon.
Yeah.
Oh man, I
So
love.
that's,
all
I
of
think
them.
that cast is official.
I love all of them. I think it was like last year or 2 years ago. They were Saturday Night Live was getting a couple of angry letters about like how they didn't have any black females on their cast, and like Kenan Thompson was just getting straight up like, stop dressing me up as a woman, like.
As he should.
And shout out to Kenan Thompson, dude. I'm a huge fan of yours, man. If you ever hear this, I love you, dude. Because I wish I was him. Because honestly, that kid's been doing sketch comedy and things like that since he was a kid, and he's still doing it today. I love that. But they did that, and then they got that girl Zasir Zameda, and now Leslie Jones just kind of popped up out of nowhere, and she's like basically like helping carry that show now. Like she's hilarious.
She played in some. I want to say she played in. People probably hadn't seen this, but if you've seen Lottery with Bow Wow, she played in that, and she was really the only funny part of that movie.
She's hilarious. She's awesome.
She is. Yeah, she is funny as shit. She plays in top 5 with Chris Rock too, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, so she.
I need to check those out because I haven't seen either one of those movies.
Well, top 5 just came out in theaters, but. She's starting to like make rounds now. And this is going to be huge.
She's awesome.
She's Winston.
Man, that's also kind of worrying me. Like, what was worrying me was that you brought up that they were thinking about using Jennifer Lawrence and some younger actresses, and I was like, no.
Yeah, that upset
not.
me. I want no parts of that.
I'm not an ageist or anything, but like, to me, Ghostbusters they're adults. I mean, Jennifer Lawrence is an adult, but I don't know. There's something about Kristen Wiig and all them. Like, yeah, like older, like. Almost like past their prime.
Yeah,
like,
I wanted no parts of Jennifer Lawrence being in this.
Yeah.
I know
we
she's
love
a big
Jennifer
hot
Lawrence
actress
and everything, but
I know she's like the big actress right now. But I'm like, I don't want her to be in this. Like, in the words of Nicki Minaj, no shade. I'm just saying, she didn't need to be in this.
I love Ghostbusters, and I'm 100% behind this cast.
Yeah,
Ghostbusters is one of my all-time favorites.
Just real quick, Wet Hot American Summer is getting a sequel, and it's coming straight to Netflix. A lot of people probably don't know what that is, but David Wayne, the director, he did Wet Hot American Summer, obviously. He did Role Models. He did a couple of other movies. I love his movies. They're just ridiculous. Like, I can't explain it. I'm not going to go into it too much. And the Fantastic Four teaser, I guess none of us really care too much about that.
I watched it, and I know everyone blew up about whatever, but I'm sorry. It looked better than the last 2 ones that I watched.
Yeah,
so.
that's. I mean, everybody has to admit that.
It's saying something. Like, it's better than what they previously gave me.
Actually, I mean, the last couple were not that great at all.
Yeah.
I mean, well,
pretty sure we could make a better Fantastic Four than what they made that first time around.
You're
Galactus
talking about
was
the
a clown.
'90s one with Chip Douglas.
we
No,
talking
God, no. Oh, fuck. I completely forgot about
We're
that.
talking about the one with Michael Chiklis.
Michael Chiklis was amazing casting.
was.
It was
But
all
he
really
was
good
amazingly
casting.
cast in a bad thing.
I thought Jessica Alba was the only thing that I had a problem with in those movies. And I actually kind of liked those movies because they were colorful and comic booky, but they remind me a lot of like the Sam Raimi Spider-Mans. Again, we're not going to get into that just yet because we're going to have a whole episode based on comic book and video game movies. And I guess that's really all I have for entertainment junk. It was recently brought up on Facebook. Who asked that question? Kaiser?
It was actually one of my cousins that asked it and got us all thinking about it.
If you could bring one anime character into our world, who would it be? And I said Kayabo Akihiko, which a lot of people don't recognize that name, but If you've ever seen Sword Art Online, he's the evil genius who created this virtual reality video game that he trapped thousands of kids in, young adults and adults alike. Just a bunch of gamers. He trapped them in this world where if they died in the video game, they would die in real life.
And they indeed died. A lot of people died.
A lot of people had to get transported to hospitals and set up with IVs for months and months and months while they were trapped in this video game.
A small price to pay for probably one of the most badass video games I have ever seen in my life.
So for me, I would bring out the inventor, the mad genius, Kayabo Akihiko, because he would be able to create that game for me and I would be able to play it.
Now, what we talked about with that is, if he creates that game, if he creates it the same way, then I'm out because I don't want any parts of having to stay in the
I'm
game
still
that
playing.
that I'm going to die.
I mean, me and Kaiser would probably still play, but honestly, like, because I know better, because I've seen the show and I'm pulling him into our world, I'd be like, come on, dude, we know what you're planning. Can you just make like a Pokemon game that we can't get killed in? And he'd say, I can't make any promises, but I need my space while I make this game. And I'd be like, okay, yeah, you do you. We'll be away, and just, tell us when you're finished. And I would just have to put my faith in him and hope that he wasn't trying to kill me.
The key word being, he is a mad scientist or a mad genius.
Look, that
Put
game...
that first word mad in the beginning of that.
That game... I want everything to do with that game.
I want to play the game. I want to be able to not play it. That's my problem.
To be able to turn it off and go eat some mac and cheese or
I
something.
may go get some cereal. I'm like playing this all day.
Or for the rest of the year.
So, what anime characters would you guys bring into our world?
Woodrow?
You already know who my favorite anime character is. Speed Racer. That Mach 5. Racer X. Let's go, baby.
So, would you want Speed Racer or Racer X, or would you want Speed Racer's dad so he could help build you a Mach 5?
The build would already be there if I brought him into the world with us. I wouldn't need him to build because the car would already be. If I brought him in, the car would already be here with him. So I wouldn't need the car to be built. He'd already have the car here.
He has to make that car. It's not the material thing. What character would you bring?
So you just, I only get the character and not what comes with the character.
Well, in a way, like if you were to bring in Ash Ketchum, if he had 3 Pokeballs on his person, in his belt, then he would also have like a Bulbasaur or Pidgey with him, that kind of thing. But like if I was to bring in, and I've still got Fantastic Four on the mind, but if I was to bring in Mr. Fantastic, he wouldn't come with the Baxter building that he lives in or like the cars that he has.
But he'd come with all his powers that he possesses.
Yeah, exactly.
So with Speed Racer, his power is his car.
Those powers are in him, though, so he automatically comes that way. He would have to.
But you can't take that from him because his power is his car.
Is that a power?
No, here's the
not
thing.
Not to say it's like any other character, but for him, yes, that is.
I don't think if we brought in Hiro Yui, he wouldn't have his Gundam. He would just be Hiro Yui.
Which is why I said I wouldn't do that.
Okay.
Because that would just be
he doesn't have the car.
Well, so if you leave it to that,
I would bring in the guy who could build the Gundam for me.
I'd bring in his dad to build the car.
Cool.
But if he comes with, I'd bring him because you got to have somebody to drive the car. I mean, it's cool just.
Why don't you want to drive the Mach 5?
I would love to drive the Mach 5, but I'm not a racer like him.
But what if he wouldn't let you drive the car? Then would you still want to bring him?
But he's my best friend, so why he wouldn't? I'm bringing him to this world, so he's going to be
technically. They're not your best friends if you bring him over.
He didn't want his son to drive the Mach 5. Remember, he wants Speed Racer.
No, but he's talking about bringing Speed Racer in here. So would Speed Racer take after his dad and be like, "Nah, I'm letting you drive shit. My dad didn't want me to drive."
And let me just clarify real quick. Just because you bring these people into our world doesn't mean they're your best friends. Because when I brought my character in, he's still trying to kill me.
Exactly, mad scientist.
That sucks.
So for those rules, who would you want?
That's a hard choice.
Look,
but
I would say his dad.
I'd say the dad, though. I'd have to say the dad so he could build the car.
I would have to go with either 2 Bleach characters, either Kisuke Urahara, Mr. Hattenclogs for people who don't watch the show, or Rukia Kuchiki, because both of them had a small hand, even though later on we found out that he was like half Soul Reaper. Anyway, both of them know how to actually give Soul Reaper powers to another human. So I'm trying to be a Soul Reaper.
That's a good idea too. Having somebody that can give abilities, Like that's genius.
It might not be. I'm not gonna be like Bunkai level right off the bat, but a She-Cop be cool enough. Gets a good Tenchu every once in a while.
That's true. I mean, it'd be cool bringing Ruki in. I mean, number one, she's a girl, so that'll kind of help
That's
out
the
a lot
main
too.
thing there.
But
That's a win-win situation all the way around.
If we're going off that situation, Ruki Akuchi is way too serious.
But that's true. That's true.
She way too duty minded.
See, you just need that clumsy girl like
Orihime
to come in, and then that just balances everything
But
out.
the thing about it, that's what her front is. You don't know what she is behind closed doors with you just by yourself.
Nah, man, I'm pretty
She
sure
eat
Orihime
you.
gets
You never know. The most serious females could
What's
be the
that
most
girl-
butter in your hands. You already know this. Come on now.
What's that girl's name that always like molests Orihime?
I can't remember. I cannot remember.
I may bring her in. I'm just throwing it out there now.
Why? So she can just take all the. Never mind. You know what?
Just
We
saying.
got a little too.
I'm conflicted. We talked about this the other day about bringing Bulma Briefs in because she has the knowledge to build a shit ton of things for me to have.
Yeah, if Bulma Briefs was here, she could make.
She could build me a time machine.
Yeah.
She could build me.
You could have a car
ATV.
inside of a pod on your belt, and a
Exactly.
tent, like a house. Like she makes the little capsule corp stuff.
Hey man, you never know. She could build us a Dragon Radar. We might find out we have Dragon Balls on.
Okay,
this
but hold
true
on,
story.
wait a minute.
Nobody's
Let's
ever
stop
looked
now.
for 'em.
How do you know for sure the materials that they use to build this stuff is going to be available here for them?
That's also a good point. We don't have the tech, but she's such a genius. The Briefs family is so smart that they would find a way.
Look, man.
Yeah, I'm
we
thinking
have
she-
way too much technology for her to not be able to do these things.
Yeah, I'm thinking she
We
could
just
take
haven't
apart
done them
like
yet.
I'm thinking she could take apart a laptop and build some sort of crazy fucking radar out of it. So I'm sure she gets like enough, just like spare iron and shit. She might be able to build an actual time machine.
Yeah, but there's a lot more that's going to go into building a time machine than iron and spare parts.
I don't know. You ever built a time machine?
No, but I'm saying
Right up.
you haven't either, so you don't know if that material is going to be here.
But Bulma has.
Plus, she made that in real
not in this
dire
world.
times. Like she made that in an alternate timeline where the city had been destroyed and they were in hiding and they didn't have all the materials she even really needed, and she still just out of necessity had to make a time machine.
But you
But
do
again,
have to make this point. That was a city that was in dire need, that was a hell of a lot more advanced than we are here.
And they had dinosaurs in that world.
But again, like any car I wanted, she could build that shit out of. We do have car parts in the world, so I can get
True.
an ATV
True.
or I can get a car. I can get whatever.
She could build like a gravity training room for us, so we'd be like
Exactly. I wanna go
Yamcha.
train
I've
in-
made a
in-
mistake.
I want to not be Yamcha, but my choices were out of her. And then yesterday, I was just like, if you haven't watched Needless, I suggest you do that first off. But Adam Blade has the ability to learn anything.
So you're telling me you would want Adam Blade in our world?
Look at it this
A
way.
known pedophile.
Hey, he's not in the sex registration last time I
That's
checked.
true. That's true.
Just saying.
Give
He
it
didn't do
time.
anything
Give
with
it
that little
time.
pink-haired girl.
Exactly. He just looked at it. He didn't go and like pick her up or anything.
He told lots of people, "Hey, I want you in nothing but your socks, and I want you to lick my ass." If you said that stuff to a little girl, she's gonna go tell the police.
Look,
and you're gonna be in trouble.
He's gonna be in trouble. Boy, what I'm saying
he's
is,
gonna be in trouble.
I could be like, look, man.
And
say-
what's there to learn in this world? If he's the only character like that, he's headbutting people, learning like, okay, I know this 30-year-old dude's
Think
past.
about it, right? Like there's like somebody that trades stocks or whatever that knows some shit. Bam,
Learned it.
Learned it. Then he can tell me what I need to do. I can get rich. I can get paid. He can do a lot of things. So if I had to choose though, I'll probably choose Bulma.
And now, real quick, would you want?
She can affect me a lot more than
What age
can.
would you bring Bulma over to our world? At the beginning of Dragon Ball, when she's just like a 16-year-old kid?
No, I need to season Bulma, like not fully seasoned, but kind of.
Dragon Ball Z Bulma, basically.
Yeah.
Not GT.
Right.
'cause that's too
Because
old.
Dragon Ball Bulma was obsessed with having a boyfriend.
Exactly. I'm talking around the time of.
wait, that's all different.
This is around the time Vegeta wore the bad man shirt. I want that Bulma.
Okay, yeah.
So
She's
I'll roll with
hitting on
that.
her own son. Hey, you're pretty cute.
That's weird, yeah.
Just like, please don't, please.
I'll roll with that Bulma.
Hey, speaking of cartoons, Daryl Willis and Kaiser here both have been kind of trying to get me to start watching Steven Universe. I had known about Steven Universe for a couple of years or however long it's been out, and I just kind of been sitting there with it, not really watching it because the first couple of episodes seemed like it was kind of copying off of other shows, or I don't know what I thought, but it just didn't really interest me. Well, last weekend I sat down and I watched every episode that's out so far. It's only like 38 episodes, and each episode is 11 minutes long. I am in love with Steven Universe now. I suggest everybody, if you got a chance, give that show a proper chance because it grows on you. And like everything else nowadays, it might seem random and stupid or whatever, but they put a lot of thought into these things, and there's a rich story and background to all these characters that they're making. And I, for one, now I'm a fan, and I'm excited to see where they go with this story and with these characters. And just give it a chance. Look into it. Steven Universe. It's awesome.
Also, keep an eye out for Star versus the Forces of Evil. That's a new Disney show, a new Disney cartoon that's coming on, and it looks nutty. It reminds me, the animation actually reminds me a lot of Scott Pilgrim. Ooh. So, I'll show y'all the open to it later on. But yeah, keep an eye out for that. If you've seen any promos for it, they haven't really been releasing much of it. They just showed they're just showing the open over and over again as a promo on Disney XD recently.
Yeah, and that's another thing about Steven Universe is that it is Scott Pilgrim-y. Yeah, and I like that.
And since we've backed up in entertainment news, there's a show that I just started watching recently. If you love Game of Thrones, watch Marco Polo. It's on Netflix. First season of it. Go watch it. Great show.
If it's on Netflix, I'm gonna give it a chance. I'm gonna go watch it this weekend.
I'm probably not gonna watch.
We figured that because you wouldn't even go watch Game of Thrones for us.
I bob and weave most things that's not animated.
Yeah, fans. 2 of us haven't seen Game of Thrones. Oh no!
Oh no!
But they've been pressuring me, so I might watch it one of these days.
Yeah. Just watched one episode. That's all I asked. One episode.
I probably won't watch.
Yeah, we know.
I offered him money. I offered him $200,
and he still wouldn't watch it.
Yeah, shout out to 2 videos before that when you offered me a cost $200, and we were both just like, nah, I probably won't watch.
I got nervous and didn't know what to talk about. Okay, and don't forget about the Geeks, Games, and Gadgets convention coming to the Nacogdoches Expo Center July 17th through the 19th. It's being put together by Town Square Media, and it's being sponsored by Screen Geeks and a couple of other local businesses. So come check us out. We're going to have our own little game tournament. I know we bring this up a lot. Get over it.
Oh, get used to it because this is going to happen all the time.
Until July 17th, we'll be talking about this a lot.
Every one of you that hears this needs to be out there. If you're in the area and you can go.
Oh, and there's a new little campaign where we're trying to get Will Wheaton to come to the Geeks, Games, and Gadgets convention. So go check the Facebook page out and see what you got to do. We're basically making videos. Anything you can think of, be as creative as possible. But Will Wheaton, we want you there. Please come over and check us out. I just need to talk to you. I need to shake this man's hand.
Shout out to Gordy.
Tag him in this Permacast. See if he'll listen.
Will Wheaton. So with that being said, we're pretty much going to let you people get to doing what you were doing before you started listening/watching this. And we're going to roll out.
This is Permakids. Till next time.
We thank all of you for your support. We hope you continue to do it. We make these videos for you. And word.
Peace.
Fuck y'all.
And we out.